All right. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, John Rayan, and my guest today on the Always Direct podcast is Mysore Justiniya. He is the co-founder of the Restaurant Franchise Alliance, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And let's hear his story and talk about what's going on in his world. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much. Thank you for hosting me for this great podcast. Actually, I like it. I saw a couple of episodes, and I like the way it goes, and I like how you share the stories of different people, different places. So I think that adds to our experience a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I just have so much. I love doing this. I just get to meet so many cool people that I would never be talking to you. You're in a different country, and there's no reason for me to be talking to you, except for now I'm going to hear your story, and now I get to meet somebody around the other side of the globe, and what other opportunity am I going to have that? You know what I mean? So it's awesome. I love it. So thank you for that compliment.
No problem. No problem.
So tell me
So
about what's the name of the company and what exactly do you guys do?
we started the company in 2013. The main purpose of our company was to be in F&B industry. So we started in the restaurants in the beginning, and then we transferred our business model to equipment distribution and services. And now we are the number one distributor of Sanremo coffee machines. They are espresso machines for commercial use in Saudi Arabia. It's an Italian brand, and we also acquired two more brands in the 2 past years. One of them is from Belgium, it's Perfect Mousse, and the other one is from Italy, it's Espresso. And they are all related to coffee machinery, espresso machinery, and we also do the after sale service, of course.
So obviously, coffee espresso machines is a big business out by you. And so when you say F and B, what does that mean?
Food and beverage.
Food and beverage. Oh, okay, of course. And so you acquire. So now you have like three companies under one roof.
Yes.
And are you going to merge them, or are you going to keep them separate?
No, they are separate because they are separate brands. Even worldwide, they are separate brands. So we deal as each brand as its own identity on itself.
Interesting. Okay, so how did you get into this business?
So basically, my experience is, I was graduated from the United States from the School of Engineering. So I'm an electrical engineer. In the beginning, I worked with Procter and Gamble in the manufacturing, and then I worked in lean transformation in healthcare, and then I worked as a consultant for the Saudi government in the industrial sector. So mainly my experience is all related to lean and Six Sigma and all that, but my passion was always in coffee and in food, mainly because exactly that's what makes up our minds.
Without it, I can't function. Of course.
Exactly. So this is what's happening. So I started with the coffee business in 2013. Before that, coffee was a hobby, so I acquired so many coffee machines for home use, for commercial use at home. Some of the classics like La Pavonia and other stuff. I was always playing with machinery, mainly in espresso because that's the drink I like. And then I got certified from the Specialty Coffee Association, and the story goes from here. When I wanted to open a coffee shop, and I went to Nice for a coffee expo, then the idea with my brother came that why don't we start in machinery and instead we start in retail business. So we figure out the opportunity with the Sanremo team, and we started from there. In the beginning, we had a very small business in Saudi Arabia. We only sold like 10 or 20 machines per year. So it was very tough because the competition is very tough. All the people who work in machinery in Saudi Arabia, they are 20 or 30 years old. So of course, having a new comer is not an easy. It's not an easy job.
They want
But
to they want to put you out of business, of course.
of course, and they can because they have the money, they have the power, they have everything. We don't have anything. We only have a new product and a couple hands to work with. So it was tough in the beginning, but after 3 years, we picked up very well. So it took us time to pick up, but it turns out very well.
So can you tell me, Mysore, how did you in the beginning? How did you know that it was going to work out? I mean, is your product is your machines that much better, or what is it?
Actually, we never thought it's really gonna work out, but we are not quitters. So we thought we're not gonna quit until we're dead, you know. But we didn't think it's gonna work out this way, honestly. We thought it's gonna work out like on a small scale, but suddenly all things came better because we started to understand the actual need for a new supplier. In the beginning, we couldn't understand that because everybody is in their comfort zone and they don't want to change their suppliers. But we found the pain points of the customers and we start playing on the pain points. And that's what took us to the next level where customers really want to work with us. We are not looking for customers because they want the thing that the others didn't have since 20 years or 30 years,
Can
which
you?
is mainly the after sale service.
That's what I was going to ask you. So tell me more about that. So you're saying you realized that the pain point that they were not taking care of, that your competitors were not taking care of, was that they would sell the machine, sell them, and forget them. And you said, no, 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 no. We're going to sell them and we're going to take care of them for the rest of the relationship.
That's not that's one part of it because they do service, but it's not as high quality as what we do. And usually the people who service the machine, they are not engineers. They are maybe um, uh, either people who acquired the knowledge just by doing, and
Yeah.
they don't have any technical backgrounds, or they are like startup technicals. They are like not very experienced technicals.
Low level workers.
Yeah, so I'll make it simple for you. So coffee machines are like cars. So for example, if you have a common car like a Toyota Camry or a Toyota Corolla, it's easy to fix anywhere. So people they kept selling in the market the Toyota Camry and the Toyota Corolla, so they are able to fix it. But once the market demanded the higher technology machines, no one was able to fix it in the right way, so they never understood what's going on behind the hood of that machine. So when we brought the new machines with our experience, with our engineering background, and of course with the support of the supplier, we really kicked butt in the market.
Wow. So in the beginning, you were probably the salesperson, the delivery guy, and the service technician. I'm assuming, right?
Yes, and the plumber and the electrician and true.
Well, yeah, of course, you have to. You know, sometimes then you have to hire somebody, and sometimes the person you hire makes more money than you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what happened in the beginning. I actually had two uniforms in the car, one for the meetings and one for the technicians. And I yeah,
Hey,
because I have to do that.
that's they. Anybody listening to this now in a year, 2 years, this is literally what you have to do to succeed. You have to wear a lot of different hats. Like you wore two different clothes, one for the professionals and one for the going maintenance. You don't want to go in there with a suit and tie, and you don't want to go into a meeting with wearing a a dirty shirt.
Exactly.
I just can't believe how hard it is to fix coffee machines. I mean, espresso machines. I mean, I've seen the fancy ones, when you go to a nice coffee place, not like Starbucks, but like when you go to a real Italian coffee espresso machines, they look, there's a lot of things happening, but you don't think it's that complicated. Why are they so complicated to fix?
Actually, it is not complicated once you understand the theory of operation. So it's basically electrical logic and thermodynamics. So if you understand thermodynamics and electrical logic, it's easy. But
Okay. So you just you
but
just
what
you just lost 90% of the people.
exactly? So that's what's happening because people they don't want to spend some effort to understand the laws of thermodynamics, and the basic electrical logic, so they cannot fix it.
Hmm.
And and also one of the major competency that we had among the competitors, so even the competitors, when they had good technicians, they don't understand about coffee. They are not barista, so they will tell you, okay, the machine works fine, but the machine is not working up to the best level when when you do a proper extraction. So it does so many things to the coffee that is not right. Maybe the temperature is not at the same temperature you want for your coffee, and they don't have the proper instruments to measure and proof their machines. We bought those instruments, and also because we understand by doing the tasting sessions, we understand that there is something wrong with the coffee machine, even if you cannot see it as a technician, but you can taste it in the cup. So if you can't taste something wrong, it means there is something wrong in the machine and you have to fix it. But the other competitors, they couldn't do that because they don't taste the coffee that comes from the machine, and they see that the machine is working fine. It's dispensing water. What's your problem? It's hot water. What's your problem?
Exactly. I understand what you're saying by that. So it looks good on the outside, but actually, if you know what you're looking for, if you know what if you're a professional, you'll notice that there's something wrong and it needs to be addressed. Otherwise, the customers, they may not necessarily say, oh, it was terrible. They might say, I don't know, I had a funny taste. I don't know what it is, but subconsciously, I didn't like it.
Exactly, especially that also one of the key point that make us succeed, that we help the new entrepreneurs of coffee shops. That's our beginning. So the new entrepreneurs, they don't understand anything about retail business. They don't understand how to calibrate their coffee machines. They lack so many points they need in their business in terms of knowledge, and we help them through that because we have different experience. Me and my brothers. One of my brothers is a background finance and background manufacturing. The other one is technical and service engineering. So we kept helping people develop their concept, their recipes, also to teach them if there is something wrong with their calibration. So okay, the machine is working fine, but you're doing this thing wrong. But sometimes no, the machine is not working fine and you're doing everything fine. The competitors couldn't reach this level where they understand what the barista is doing wrong. So they say the machine is working. I don't know. You go fix your issues, but they don't guide them to what issue they should fix.
Now, so what part of your business is the main part of your business? Is it sales or is it maintenance? Like what is the main revenue stream, or is it 50-50?
So if you talk about revenue stream, it's sales for sure.
Okay.
But if you talk about marketing and brand image and presence, you talk about after sales. So sometimes until 2019, service was a cost center. It was not a profit center. So I couldn't turn it to a profit center before the pandemic. We only turned to a profit center in the pandemic
Why?
because we had time to sit and relax and redo business. In
Uh,
the beginning, because you're doing everything and you're expanding and you are operating, and you are always doing everything. You are the service guy, you are the maintenance guy, you are the salesperson. Even when you employ people, you cannot give them the proper training in the beginning to reach to the level that you want to represent you. So you have to go with them every time, you have to guide them every time. But when we had the pandemic, we had the time to redo our processes. We did process engineering for logistics. We transferred all our data to Microsoft systems. So now we have an online dynamics system. We did so many improvement in that year. So last year, it was, for me, it was a great year because I could take a breath, think, and apply what I want. Before you were just operating, holding the hammer all the day.
yeah, yeah. It's like a restaurant that's open 24 hours a day and it's always busy. You never get a chance to stop, talk to your staff, clean the restaurant, have a discussion
Exactly.
about, you never have a chance to breathe. But this, so I have so much to ask you about what you just said.
Okay.
Number one, you said that. So can you? I don't know if you're comfortable talking, but you don't have to. I figured I'd ask. How many machines a year are you selling pre-pandemic, or is that something that's not?
So
You don't have to
No,
tell it.
no, I will give you rough figures. So pre-pandemic, we sell around 500 machines per year,
Okay. All right.
and post-pandemic, we sell around 800 machines per year.
So you went up.
Yes, because we redid the business. We reduced the cost of service, for example. So before the cost of service, if it cost me X, now it cost me 0.7X. So we reduced 30% the cost of maintenance, and we pass that saving to our customer. We never report it in our profit because we pass it to the customer. We reduce the cost of logistics. We pass that to the customer. We never put it in our pocket. And that's our theory. We always think about having a constant margin, and all the saving, we pass it to our consumers. And that's why people have loyalty with us.
It's not on paper. That sounds so smart and so easy, but when you actually get to that point, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to pass it on. You're like, I mean, we could use it. I mean, we could use them. You can justify using it, not just to buy a nicer car, but to R&D, to expand. So it's so hard to save the customer. Like if you can save 30%, to pass it on is very difficult. I mean, it depends on what you want to do with it. I mean, you can pass it on to customers and create more loyalty and word of mouth, which is like marketing. Or you can take that money and maybe use it for expanding your line of products or expanding your territory or
So
acquiring.
all that is part of the equation because we are expanding. We expand our team, we buy new systems and all that. That's also eating from your profit. But your net profit is always constant with whatever you do. So you bring some of the 30% to the company improvement, and you pass the others because that will be passed indirectly to the customer. When you have better logistic, it is passed to the customer. When you have a better service, it is passed to the customer. When you have lower cost service, it is passed to the customer. When you create new loyalty programs and stuff to the customer, that's also passed to the customer. So it doesn't have to be passed as hard cash to the customer. Don't get me wrong. So I don't pass it like, okay, 30% discount, I will give you 30% discount. No, it's not working this way, but I give them benefits, 1 year free service, for example, free shipping, free substitute machine when you have a broken down machine, all that. So you pass it as a service, not as a hard cash money.
Gotcha. So I have a lot of questions for you, but do you supply the coffee as well?
Yes, we have the Milani brand. We brought it in 2015. We supply coffee beans to a specific market segment. So we don't supply it to the whole market, not like the coffee machines, because the coffee machines, we have the whole line. But in coffee, no, we only brought a specific line to make sure we don't compete with our customers, because our customers are roasters. So I don't want to compete with the roaster. So I only bring a specific type of beans that I know it's not competing with my customer.
So that makes sense. Yeah, and obviously, yeah, if you brought in your own coffee, then you'd be competing with your own customers. That doesn't make sense. So let's go back to what you said. You said that in 2000 during the pandemic 2020, you revamped all your processes, your systems, your procedures. You figured out a way. You sat back and thought about what you're doing on like more an objective view, like above the view, and that way you saved a ton of money and you had your business run a lot more simply, I guess you could say, more systems, more procedures. Everything's a little bit more organized. It's less chaotic as you're in expansion mode. But at the same, I thought you were going to say that you did that because you slowed down so much that you had the opportunity to breathe and think about it. But when you told me your numbers, you told me you almost went up by like 80% or whatever. I mean, so how did you have the time to do it? Because changing, I know you want to tell me, but so changing the Microsoft and changing the systems and platforms, I mean, it's a hell. It's hell. I've been there. So, I mean, there's a lot of problems. It's never, just an easy, simple switch. No, it's always full of chaos. You're stuck. I don't know if you're stuck. I don't see you. Hold on. Oh, yeah, you're back. Right or wrong?
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Actually, because what happened in the country helped us to do that. So we had like 3 months off, and then we had 3 months maximum thrust.
Maximum
So
what?
maximum thrust. So we were working on maximum thrust, full power, because what happens when we had the lockdown for the pandemic, we worked from our homes to improve and finish the pending contracts with Microsoft and finalize the system migration and all that. But when the are you there? Yes, you're there. So, but when the country reduced the lockdown and we started working again, they announced that they are going to increase the VAT, the sales VAT, so the taxes for sales. So what happened is that the value added tax, it's called value added tax. So what happens that all the people who didn't buy the last 3 months, now they want to buy to avoid the new tax rules. So that gave us
Oh,
all what we passed the last 3 months, and then we came back to regular operation. So there is like a slowdown, a slowdown, a slowdown, then a big boost, and then we came back to normal operation.
yeah. So
So
are you?
when you average, so we averaged higher than last year, even though we had 3 months of lockdown and 2 months of very busy selling time. And then we came back to normal. And I'm glad also we did all these systems, because when we came with that peak, many suppliers, they couldn't actually
Keep up with
supply
the
their
demand.
customers. Exactly, they couldn't keep up with demand. They didn't have enough stock. They didn't have enough number of machines, and so we could take over other market share also, because our systems are ready, our stock is there, and everything was there. So we just had to sell, basically.
Were you ever worried that this would destroy your business?
The corona, of course.
No, I don't know. Some people, I don't know. I don't know. You know what?
No, actually,
Some
I
people said no. This is going to be a pent up demand, and once it's over, it's going to be a big boom. Because if you would have told me, if you would have told me that it was going to last a year, I would have said you're crazy. I would have laughed at you.
No, actually, after the second month in the pandemic, so maybe at the end of April, I thought we have couple months to go until we die. So,
It's so scary, man.
so yeah, if it didn't pick up this way, I don't think we could have continued. But the pickup was good, and we were ready for the pickup, and everything went better than expectation.
Alhamdulillah. Thank God.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, good, good, good. All right. So so let's talk about your the reason why I want to keep focusing on it is because when people listen, most people who listen to this or are going to listen to this are people who are entrepreneurs, small businessmen, or mid to small businessmen who want to implement systems, procedures, and items, and to change things in the restaurant to make it more efficient. So could you tell us about your experience adding all these systems and procedures? Number one, how did you decide which systems and procedures to go? I mean, you're kind of a logic. You're an electrical engineer, so like your mind works very, I think, methodically. I think, but at the same time, implementing a bunch of systems and procedures could be a nightmare, like we said. So, how did you decide what to go with? Did you copycat some other business? Then, when you decided to implement, did you get any consulting on it? And then when you decided to implement it, how did you do it? Like, did you have a team of people helping you, or did you just do it as quickly as you could, or did you do it slowly? Give me the whole process. I know it may seem boring to talk about, but this is so important because switching out is switching POS systems or process is such a big part of business, right?
Yep. So I give you the story of every entrepreneur who succeeded.
Yeah.
So the first thing, you're doing everything yourself. So you don't have any process, right?
Hmm.
Because you are just trying out and you're doing stuff and they work, and then you read about something and then you fix it and it works, and then you do this sales method and it works, or doesn't work, and you keep changing, and everything is in here. It's not written. It's not an SOP. It's nothing. After that, you start employing people, and you start teach them your way. So it's not even a process. So, and you start, when you employ people, you start to find that what is obvious for you, it's not obvious for other people. And this is where the dilemma starts, where you have to create a process for each person you employ.
Yeah.
So you start thinking, why did I employ you? What's your job? I have to write job responsibilities for you. I never thought about that in the beginning, because I thought they will understand if I tell them, okay, you will install the machine, they will install the machine, because I know how to install the machine. So I suppose they do. But actually they don't. You have to tell them how to test the power, how to test the water, how to fix it on the place, what to do this and that. And you start from here writing the procedure. After you go along, after 1 year, 2 year, you start getting into complication with the laws and regulations, because some customers will sue you for something, or will ask you for a return, or will do things. And that time you will start creating processes for how to do this and how to do that in terms of rules and regulation.
Are you keeping it in Google Docs? What are you doing? How are you? Where are you keeping these? I mean, you're taking them from your head. You're putting them down. Are you writing them down? You typing them
Yeah,
up? What do you? What
yeah,
do you?
actually, I write everything in as a document, and then we start drawing the process for it. So, for example, if this happens, this is point number one, point number two. So standard SOP. So we write the SOP, and then we explain it as a process and procedure. And then we post it now. So the new process, that any new process or procedure is
Yeah.
posted near the desk of the employee who's responsible for that process or procedure, and they have it handy. So that's how we do it. And then after a while, so after 4 or 5 years of operation, you find that you have so many processes and procedures that are really stupid, and you are killing a fly with a bazooka. So you start working on, yeah.
I
So
like.
you start working on and reducing the processes and making it more simple. And so you start from zero, and then you have so many processes, and then you start reducing the processes until you have the best operating model that you can have. And of course, in during our journey, we relied on the Kaizen concept, where we continuously improve. So we don't have a session for improvement, or we don't need to wait for an approval of a committee or anything. So we do quick changes in our processes. As soon as we see a problem, we agree it's a problem, we agree on a solution, we implement right away, and we test it. It works, yes. It doesn't, let's find another solution, and we keep going and keep going. And we didn't make it as implemented in automated systems until the corona came in. So we never had any automation before corona. Now we have around 60% automation in our company. So because you cannot do automation unless you have proper processes. If you automate garbage, you will get garbage. But if you automate a proper process, you will be in heaven.
Yeah, yeah. Garbage in, garbage out.
Yep.
So, is your brother an electrical engineer as well?
No, actually, one of my brother is, the other is finance. So he has an MBA in financial investment.
So, are you partners with two brothers or just one?
Yeah, I'm partners with two brothers.
Oh, so one takes care of the money part.
Yes.
One takes care of sales, and the other one takes care of technical stuff.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, that's excellent.
Mainly.
Man, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, but of course, you wear everybody has to wear the same hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great story. I learned a lot from your story. I want to ask you now, what's your plans for the future? Are you planning on? So you have the whole territory of Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Okay, and so is it like a franchise? Is that what it is? Or
So
just territory
in
rights, I guess.
yeah, it's just territory rights, because a franchise is different. We use franchise in retail business. We don't use franchise in distribution. So in machinery distribution, it's not like a franchise. So for example, like like a car dealer. He's not a franchise. So usually a franchise, they have royalties and they have other concepts behind the franchise. But in distribution, no, you buy a product, you sell a product. So you only have an agreement how to use their brand name. What are you allowed to do with the brand name? Where to put it? The colors and stuff. So the restrictions between a distributor and a supplier is not as much as the restriction with the when you talk about franchise. So in franchise, they also tell you what recipes to use and what equipments to use, for example, in a restaurant. But with the supplier distributor relationship, no, they only are concerned about their brand name. But how you manage your workshop, your showroom, it's up to you.
And the other two companies that you brought in, are those competitive to your existing brand? Like
No,
so what do they
no,
offer? What do
actually,
they do? What do they do?
so for example, now I have the coffee machine
Yeah.
from a brand. I have grinder that grinds the coffee, and I have the tamping, the automatic tamper. I have the a milk steamer, the auto foamer for milk. So they are complementary to each other. They are
Gotcha.
not.
Gotcha. So what? So the original company doesn't have those other, doesn't offer
Nope,
those.
nope, nope.
Wow. So now you're just capitalizing. So since you already have the customer base, you're just capitalizing on offering them more products that complement your original your main product.
Yes, I'm capitalizing on that without sacrificing the quality of job I can do in terms of technical. So I'm not getting a device that is completely different in theory of operation.
Hmm. Gotcha. So what is your biggest? I'm going to ask you the last like four questions. Okay, simple questions. What's your biggest mistake that you made in the last 6 years in business? Of course, not personal.
Okay. So in business, the biggest mistake is to partner with the wrong partner who doesn't share your knowledge. And I did that in the beginning when I worked in food and beverage. When I opened my first restaurant, I worked with a partner with different vision, with different perspective. So it didn't give me the proper the proper profit. Also, it delayed my improvement in the beginning as a company. So the company struggled for a while to get out of that partnership.
Gotcha. So choosing the right people to work with is key.
Yes, yes.
Did you get any mentors? Do you have anybody that you can go to besides your brothers? I'm talking like outsiders where you can share your problems and issues and they can give you advice because they have experience in your industry.
Yes, I do. I do. Not in the industry, but I get general knowledge because when I worked in consultancy before, so I know so many people with great experience, like 20, 25 experience in logistics and things like that. I get their opinions from time to time, and I get their inputs about problems. They help me and support me whenever it's needed, of course.
And so you were born in Saudi Arabia?
Yes, I was born in Saudi Arabia.
Okay. So if I come out to Saudi Arabia, we're gonna meet some for some coffee?
Of course, for sure.
I might come there. I might come there. I'm going to I'm gonna go to eat next as soon as Corona is done. As soon as I can travel, I'm going to Egypt, Jordan, and Palestine. Probably, inshallah, next year. I mean, we'll see. My wife is from Ramallah, so
Oh, no.
yeah, and we have properties out there. So I go there. I just don't speak the language very good. I sound like a third grader. Anyways, I want to say it has been a pleasure talking to you and having you on the podcast. I think I learned a lot from you, and anybody listening to this can learn a lot about entrepreneurship. And I wish you nothing but the best and luck in your future.
Thank you very much. The pleasure was mine, and I hope that this also be a good material for anyone who's looking about key elements in the entrepreneurship. And also text me whenever you're in Saudi Arabia, just text me or give me a call, and I'll be happy to host you.
Yeah, and you too. Of course, you come out to Chicago, you better call me. I'll give you the.
Very soon, I'll be in Chicago.
Are you? Are
Yeah,
you?
but just let them allow me to travel, you know?
Yeah, I know. Same here. My Sura, I'm involved with Papa Ray's Pizza. I own the company Papa Ray's Pizza. We have pizzerias. So you come over here, you have some good pizza.
Nice. Okay. Okay. I like pizza and I like Papa Ray's actually.
Cool. What do you mean? Did you check it out before? Check out the website?
Yes, yeah. No, I've been to Papa Ray's in Chicago before.
Stop it.
Yeah, really.
Get out of here. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How is that? I mean, you live in Saudi Arabia, so when you were just visiting?
Actually, no, I lived in the States for around 6 years.
Yeah.
And I did my bachelor there. So I went to Chicago. I went to so many parts of the U.S. I studied in Cleveland, actually, in Ohio.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. Well, I'm happy. I'm happy you got to try the product. So next time you come out, you call me. It would do it again.